Hi, I'm John Solari, your host of the Method Actor Speaks. And today I'm with the lovely and beautiful Lisa.
Thank you.
Wow, listen, and we're going to talk a little bit about you and everything that you do. Excuse me. Well, not everything. But you and your music and your acting.
Thank you.
And all this and that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit over there because I really want you to talk to the folks if it's all right with you.
That is
All right, my lovely? You go along to the mic.
fabulous. Thank
And
you.
I'll just come over here. I just wanted people to see who I was so they're not talking to a stranger. So Lisa, before we get into what you're doing, why did you want to become a singer?
Well, it's interesting because before I acted, I always had the dream of being an actress. But the only performance I did was singing. All through high school, junior high, my bat mitzvah. They actually still talk about my bat mitzvah in Palm Springs today.
Oh, so you're a California girl.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
So go on with the bar mitzvah.
It's actually a bat mitzvah when
Bat
you're a
mitzvah,
girl.
okay.
I know, we call each other actors now instead of actresses, but there is a difference.
How do you feel about that? A lot of people have been talking to me about that. I was always brought up that an actor is an actor. And an actress is, different between the men's room and the ladies' room. But lately I've been talking to people like Francine York, and she said, no, I'm an actress. How do you feel about that?
I went through a phase where I thought it was cool to say I'm an actor, and now I'm back to my desire to empower women, so yeah, I'm proud to be an actress.
Good.
And
Good
there's
for
a
you.
famous actor, I want to say it's, gosh, who was it? Laurence Olivier, who said there's no such thing as actors, we're all actresses.
I can believe him saying that.
It's someone like that.
I think that's a great line because
right, yeah.
it does bring out the feminine side
Yes.
of men.
Yes,
If you
it
watch
does.
people like Peter O'Toole and that they're acting, very feminine.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a vanity involved
Okay.
about our physical appearance, naturally so, as
Right.
performers and on stage or in front of a camera, that I think is associated with the feminine side of our psyche.
Psyche, yeah. So back to about your singing, I apologize for breaking in. But what was it like and why did you want to become a
Well, I
acting
absolutely
singer?
lucked out in my first big foray into music because in the early 80s,
Uh-huh.
in the early 80s, we were picked, four of us, to be. I'm sorry. Can we
Sure.
start this over? Or
Just keep going, it'll be
okay,
good.
you'll edit out. Okay,
Well,
sorry.
it'll be great.
I want to think of the right way to say this. All right, I absolutely had beginner's luck about singing. In the early 1980s, I was picked along with three other girls to be in a band called the Pinups.
I love that name.
I know, it's fabulous, isn't it? It's just iconic and timeless, and we had our 15 minutes, as Andy Warhol says. We were as famous as you could possibly get. We were managed by Randy Phillips, AEG fame now, Michael Jackson's.
Right.
I mean, luckily he won his lawsuit because I love Randy. And we were picked and signed to CBS Records, which is now Sony Records. And we debuted on the Billboard charts, way up there. We had a hit. K-Rock played us all the time. Our Billboard was up all over Sunset Boulevard. We were on every show you can imagine, from Merv Griffin to laugh tracks to whatever you could be on. We were groundbreaking in the sense that we wore lingerie, risque lingerie, before Madonna, before anybody. And we basically started the idea of just beautiful women up there singing in provocative clothing. And it was just an amazing experience. We're still famous in Europe, and the most amazing thing about it is 30 years later, we've reunited. We're being produced by the bass player from the band America, and we're doing this really cool live kind of retro and yet new because it's new and now album. So I'm excited. We're in the recording studio now, and it's been really, really a great ride. And we've got a company that's going to do a documentary on us, and It's just great.
It's just amazing how things, 30 years later, how they just come around.
It is, and it's also just an amazing testament that if you just stay on top of your game, like all the girls, well, 3 out of the 4 together, we're actually going to be searching for the 4th pinup.
Oh, okay, that's good. Let people.
I know.
How would people get in touch with you for this?
Well, we're on Facebook. We have a great site on Facebook. It's actually the Pinups Live is what we called it.
Oh.
And all the information, lots of old stuff is on there, all the new stuff will be on there. But 2 of the other girls besides myself, Tegan Taylor and Glennis Campbell, they have had incredible lives, full lives. One is one of the top makeup artists in the world and always also doing her own solo singing stuff. And the other one is a top romance novelist.
Oh.
And we're all 3 happily married, which is like a crazy thing for Hollywood. And we've stayed in Hollywood, so this is like an incredible Hollywood tale, you know. I mean, it's got, you know, all the tragedy and all the craziness that happens of years of living, loving, and, you know.
I was going to say, you know, the men, like, they have all the groupies now.
Oh, we had tons of groupies.
Now, male?
Yeah, male and female, baby. We don't discriminate. Anyone can be our groupie. But yes, it's an amazing, crazy, random thing that happened, and I'm really excited about it.
Wow. Do you have any stories about that? You know, what it was like, and you know, being this popular.
Well, what was amazing about everything about this is that you know, it was still where radio mattered. There was no such thing as the internet then,
right.
As far as, you know, how you promoted yourself. What's great about this is we're going to have total control. It's going to drop in November on iTunes, Amazon. We're going to be in charge of ourselves, which is such a wonderful thing now. And it's, you know, it's the same thing like with films. There's pitfalls because money is harder to come by, the major money that actors and singers, you know, were used to getting.
Right.
But there's so much broader places to get your art out there, whether you're an actress, a singer, or whatever. There's just a million things, venues to get your stuff out
Is
there.
a lot of the money now to be made more in concerts more than the records sell, right?
Well, the sales, I mean, the Amazon and iTunes, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. But the other thing is we're going to be having merchandising, too.
Ah, well.
Because we are 3 divas. We might as well do what we do best.
I like that, 3 divas pinup. It's such
in a
great
good way,
name.
in the best sense of the word, trust me.
And how did this, I guess this helped your acting, you know, to get parts.
Well, actually, my music, for me, I've had a few things musically happen along the way, but my main thing was always acting before I got the singing gig. And then it's been acting, and I've been absolutely blessed with good luck and hard work. And I have a few directors that use me constantly. And
Do you study any of the methods, or
yes.
How did you study? What did you study?
Well, I was Meisner.
Oh,
I was
Sanford,
Meisner.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I started off, I think my career was very smart because I came here and I lucked out. I got a starring role in a film that was like the most coveted role of any young actress. It was a female version of Animal House called Hots. And that was my first audition. I mean, it was just absolutely beginner's luck. So the first class I took was Tony Barr's Film Actors Workshop, which in my case, because I was on this fast pace, I was getting work all the time. What was best for me was to be in front of a camera and get comfortable. So I started off with Tony Barr's Film Actors Workshop. An amazing bunch of actors were in there, from Lorenzo Lamas to, let's see, who else was in there with me? God, there was a boxer.
Did you do scenes with them?
Don Wilson was in there, who I later did a movie called Deathmatch with. Yes, we did scenes in front of the camera, which was the best thing, to see how to be still is the best
On
thing.
film, yes.
And to know what your inner life had to mean. Then after that, I studied with Robert Carnegie at Playhouse West and did Meisner technique for years, which is really the root of what I do. But
Can you tell the audience what that is?
well, it's basically working off the other person. It's working off the other person and really knowing what your intention is. And Then I was blessed to work with David Proval for years.
David,
who's an
a
incredible
friend of
actor.
mine,
He
yeah.
was on The Sopranos. And I think for women, he's like the best coach imaginable. He just taught me, he basically reinforced everything that was my talent and gave me the strength and confidence to rely on everything I learned from Meisner
Right.
and know that I was always interesting enough. And then I'm in an amazing cold reading class with Sal Landy, who's also an amazing actor. He was on Desperate Housewives. We've done a ton of movies and plays together. And we actually, Sal and Jamise Haft, another student of his, they started the Actorhood, which is an amazing theater company that I was lucky enough to be a founding member, and I ended up producing.
Where are they
And
located?
starring in a bunch of plays. We were at the Pan Andreas Theater for years, and now we're kind of homeless, but that's okay. And Sal's still, of course, teaching his classes, and that's at the Lounge Theater on Melrose. And we're looking for other plays. We've all been so busy with our film and television work lately, thank God, that we haven't done a play since last year, but we were cranking them out, and they were all critically acclaimed, and major people in the industry came, and it was just an amazing experience for me. And from one of them, I was cast in Law & Order SVU, and they do not use LA actors usually, so I felt extremely lucky, and it was an amazing experience shooting in New York. And
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
Great
that talks about your talent.
thank you.
No, really. I mean, because they do want New York actors.
Yes,
It's
yes.
a different breed, New York
Absolutely,
actors.
absolutely.
I'm a New York actor myself. I come from New York. I was born there, but this actor studio in New York is so much different from out here.
Yes,
And New York is so much different.
yes,
You know,
it is.
you walk away from the studio, from Broadway, and you're in the real world.
Yes.
Out
yeah.
here, everybody has a script.
Yeah.
Whenever it's all movie orientated.
I've been so lucky though. I've had smaller roles in a few A films, but I've starred in a zillion B films, and I've been so blessed and lucky to work with really great people in just about all the films I've done, and I'm proud of my work in all of them.
I think the B films are sometimes the best. That's the learning experience. They
Absolutely.
allow you to take chances.
Well, now they're also called indies because
Right,
a lot of
right.
a lot of them wouldn't fit into the exploitative thing. In
Right.
fact, like 90% of the work I do now is just as good as any A film. It's just
Right.
a lower budget film.
That's all it is.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, that our union. I'm a union delegate now, but I mean, they just sold us out
Oh,
before.
completely.
Oh,
I'm very curious to see where everything happens with this new media
Right.
contract because I've just done a great web series called Rick's Parking, and Ron Howard's brother and father are in it, who are
Right.
absolutely fabulous actors in their own right, Rance and Clint Howard.
Clint, yeah.
And also William Capp, which was just a thrill for me because I idolized him from Carrie. And it's terrific. It's cutting edge, it's crazy, it's a web series, and I play a dominatrix.
Oh,
You
good
think
for
I
you.
was Goody Two-Shoes housewife at first, but
That's great.
yeah. I changed my colors quickly. so that it's going to be interesting to see where all of that goes. And also a lot of the films that I've done for Corbin Timbrook, who's another wonderful friend and actor and director and producer that I work with a lot. He, gets all of his stuff out. It doesn't go to the theaters anymore. It goes to all these other televisions and web stuff.
Right. Well, now with the camcorder and all that, no more videotape. I mean, you can shoot and
Yes.
put it up everywhere now.
Yes, and the
people
cameras
get
are
to
so
see it.
sophisticated and make you look so wonderful. And yeah, it's,
I was telling you, I have this camera. It does everything, but I don't know how to do it. I'm learning how to work this.
you're doing very well.
I mean, to edit. and
Am
all
I
that.
still there?
You're still there. Actually, it moves around and it's really wonderful. But what I'm thinking now, your web series. Now, how did that come about? I mean,
That came about through my manager, Sherry Robb, the Robb Company. She put it all together. She's actually one of the producers on it because she's a big literary agent too.
Oh,
so
wow.
she, and it's a really cool young director, Josh Tessler, and it's just a quirky, crazy, wonderful thing. And it's so interesting for me because I have been so lucky to do both sides. I mean, I work
Right.
on both A and B. I mean, my first dramatic part was with Clint Eastwood in Sudden Impact. But what was also interesting is the bigger the movie, and like I've worked with Oliver Stone and The Doors, and they stay on budget. They do it fast. They have, you know, all the rigorous work ethics of the people that have to, you know, are forced to do things quickly
Right.
and on the fly of the B movies. So it's interesting. And then of course there's been a few things that I've worked on where it's take after take because they have the luxury of it. But I think that can get, I don't know if that's a great thing. I love the pressure on. I love it to be like, okay, get this now.
I did the Black Dahlia with Brian De Palma. You know, it takes place in L.A. We shot it in Bulgaria.
Wow.
But in my scene, he just let me improvise. You know, didn't just say, this is your intention. And we did about 10 different takes. He just kept doing each one I did different, but it was just wonderful to work with that. And when you were talking about the B movies, now that's a place where you're allowed to, I think an actor feels much more comfortable there than he does in a movie.
Well, I'm one of those people, once the camera's on me, I'm completely comfortable. I love it. But I'm in character. This is another story. This is a little intimidating.
I'm the same way.
In character, now on stage, I'm always nervous. But what was very interesting also is when I was working with Dan Aykroyd and Tom Hanks in Dragnet, that was the craziest set because there were so many actors, and it was also Christopher Plummer, which was the greatest experience of my life working with him and Dabney Coleman. And it was just, it's interesting because, yeah, the pressure's on, but that was such a relaxed, jovial set that it depends on the set. Like, Law and Order was psycho intimidating because it is so fast-paced, and television is just a lot harder to fit in.
Hit your mark and get out.
Yes, exactly. And exactly. And so, yeah, that can be. But a few of the B films that I've been on too, it's like, you know, they're so pressured for time that it's, you know, one take, get it right, or you're done also.
Do you find that has a lot to do with the director?
Yes, of course, always.
You get an insecure director in there.
Yes.
And especially, there's a lot of directors who don't know how to work with actors.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you've experienced
well,
that.
I always say that I think I've really been directed probably 4 times, and the rest is just. But what I love is when I get absolute great writing, a director that I feel loved by, for me, that he really wanted me cast, and then I get to improv a little bit. But I never do it unless the director wants me to. I just worked with Daniel Yost, who wrote Drugstore Cowboy. And I'm so excited because the film I did with him, A Star for Rose, it's about the homeless, and it's with Debbie Allen and John Savage, and it's premiering at the Hollywood Film Festival at ArcLight, so I get to see myself on that big, bad, huge screen. And that was a script, but Dan encouraged me to improv, and I was blessed to work with my late best friend who died tragically, like a year after we shot it. It was horrible. But just our chemistry and our trust of one another, it's just, I can't wait to see it because it was one of the most amazing experiences of my life.
Yeah. It's funny, you know, when you were talking, I was listening and I'm thinking about Arthur Penn. He directed Bonnie and Clyde.
Of course, one of my favorite films ever.
Yeah. Michael, I got to have Michael on, Michael J. Pollard. I always ask him, why did you park the car? You know.
Why did you park the car? You could have escaped.
But I remember Arthur Penn in New York, I was doing a scene, and what he told me was, break the rules, John. Mm-hmm. And I always tell actors, when I was teaching in Cleveland and this and that, I always tell actors, break the rules.
Absolutely.
Which is the one when you were talking about improv. And because if it's not right,
you have to be fearless to be special. And for whatever reason, I do have that ability to just jump off a cliff. Right. And I love it. I love acting so much, and that just about anything is worth it. In fact, the advice I give to young actors now is if you don't want it more than anything on earth, don't do it.
Right. It's true. Because it's a very frustrating, unrewarding at times.
Well, it's
business.
painful because we're raw all the time.
Yes.
Artists are so open, and that's why they do the amazing work they do that makes other people feel. And it's a noble profession when it's done right.
When it's done right.
It's
How do you feel about that today? I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, because, and you don't have to answer if you don't like. I mean, there's a lot of talent. They're not talent. They're celebrities now who are getting a lot of the jobs.
You mean fame, just for fame's
sake? Yeah, for the fame's sake. And I mean, more people in Hollywood, I find, want to be movie stars than they want to be actors.
Right.
A lot of the talent that we have coming here today comes from Europe.
Yes.
Australia, England.
Because they still know what it is to be an artist. Right. Exactly. I think fame for fame's sake is the most destructive, disgusting thing that could ever happen, and unfortunately it's perpetrated by America.
Yes.
I find most reality TV shows unwatchable, meaning truly I've never watched them.
I've never watched them either.
Housewife thing in my life. Yeah. I don't mind, of course, any of the competition ones or any of the historical ones or the culinary ones. All of that to me is also great television. And in fact, you know, we're struggling with the idea in the pinups of what we want to do. We've been approached by reality TV people, and we want it to mean something. We want it to empower women. So ultimately, that's going to be what we do if we do anything in that venue.
You would have to be very careful, because once the producers get hold of it, I mean, it's unbelievable that the people behind the set have no concept of what talent is, no imagination.
Right.
And they just look for violence and ratings.
Absolutely. Well, we've chosen a company so far that I can't talk about it yet because nothing's been signed, but we've chosen a company that is full of integrity. The owner of the company and his partner, they've known me basically all my life in Hollywood, so I feel comfortable in their hands.
Yeah, that helps a lot when you have some sort of relationship first, because it's so easy. I always tell people the most powerful weapon in the world is a woman, and then the camera.
Absolutely.
I mean, people will do anything to get in front of this. You look at all those Jerry Springer rejects that you see come out.
Well, Andre Dedienne, you know, the famous photographer that shot Marilyn Monroe.
Right, he just died.
I know. He shot my mother.
Really?
In New York. And my mother quoted him as saying, "A beautiful woman has a passport to the world."
She does. She does.
Yeah, well, I try to use mine to travel well and bring positive.
Was your mother an actor or a model?
No, she was a model, a little bit.
Something about you that just brought out when you talked about your mother. I just felt
she was breathtakingly beautiful and talented in her own right. More about painting and sketching and art than acting. It was funny, as a little girl I thought that she was, you know, putting all her desires onto me. And in reality, she thought that's what I wanted, because that was just the personality I was born with. I was making home movies when I was like 3 years old.
I should put you behind here.
No, I could never be a director. No.
I'm sitting here looking at you, and a very dear friend of mine was Tina Louise.
Oh my God, Ginger.
Well, she's my idol. Never likes to be called that.
I know, but please.
She's one of my dearest friends.
I idolized her.
We hung out. Her daughter's over, you know, Caprice cane.
Oh.
You see her a lot on Facebook.
Oh, I love it.
And she writes these little jokes. But
Tina Louise, breathtaking, and Anne Margaret, breathtaking.
Yeah, but
you know, and when you're young with red hair and freckles, you find the freckles.
Yes,
you're like, oh, they have them. So yeah. Now I love it because it makes you look younger, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah. When you were talking about your mother being an artist and this and that, I find a lot of talent in this business, the real big, the good talent, are also artists. And, you know, I was looking at Anthony Quinn and the artwork, Tony Red Skelton.
My father was a sportscaster, and I grew up in Palm Springs, so Bob Hope, Red Skelton.
Frank Sinatra.
Well, Frank Sinatra was best friends with my grandfather, so yeah, I was around all
I knew there was a reason I had to have you on this show.
Yes, and he was the most amazing, wonderful person in my family's life. When my grandfather passed away, he would send a plane to pick up my grandmother all the time to make sure she wasn't alone. It was,
Francis was a good man.
He certainly was.
You know, and your family must have been good for him to do that. I mean, he doesn't do that for anybody.
Yeah, my family was pretty amazing.
Yeah. Oh, that's really
And
great.
still is. I mean, some have passed, but the remaining ones, my
And
siblings, are
they still out there in.
Both my parents are passed on now.
Oh.
Yeah, my dad just recently, and my mother, God.
Now you said you were married. Do you have children? Or?
I do not have children. I have an
Oh.
incredible husband. His name
Oh.
is Barry Saddles, and he's an amazing landscape designer. And he's also got roots in acting and theater. He started the Philadelphia Rep Company, and he's one of our directors at the Actor Hood,
Oh, he's a
which is our
director.
theater
Oh.
company. Yes, he did Hell's Kitchen Ablaze, which was just this insanely critically acclaimed production of an original piece we did. And then one of the founding members, Sal Landy, did the other amazing piece we did, Where's My Money, which is the one I got Law and Order off of. So.
Oh. Is there a role out there that you want to do that you haven't done?
I love playing really troubled, bad women that aren't really bad. I love that. It's kind of been my forte since I started, but I just want to keep working, and I want an Academy Award one day.
Well, Betty Davis said, "I don't care what I look like, as long as I look like the role."
Absolutely.
How do you feel about that?
I feel 110% right in there with her. I'm probably an actress that's probably looked in the mirror less than anyone else once she's ready to go. I couldn't care less.
Because
Well,
it
I
is
wanted
important, you know, that when she said that, I just had so much respect for her.
I know.
I mean, her work was just absolutely brilliant.
She was astounding. She
And when
was
you were
truly
talking about the
astounding.
stillness of people, if you watch the old movies, the most powerful moments are when the face is there
Oh God, yes.
and not
The
moving.
face and the eyes, that's it.
Because when people move around, you're wondering why.
Yeah, you're like,
I used to tell actors, stop walking around. It's
absolutely.
nervousness.
Absolutely.
If you're into it, just being there. And it's so powerful.
Absolutely.
And
She
actors don't
also,
understand
Betty
that.
also has my favorite line ever. Am I like this because I'm an actress, or am I an actress because I'm like this?
It's a great line to end this
Isn't
with.
it?
Do you have a website or anything or something that we could...
I'm on IMDb Pro, and all my photos, everything's up there, so
Well, I put that up on Facebook. I saw
wonderful.
that. Yeah, it was...
And also the Actor Hood, because all of our theater
Now,
information.
where's the
there's
Actor
lots of
Hood
great
at?
photos. The Actor Hood is my theater company, right?
Right.
That's www.theactorhood.com.
Oh, okay. You don't have to use the W anymore.
No, I guess you
You know,
don't. You
really,
just
nobody
start
ever
it.
uses
I know.
it.
And then also the Pinups Live on Facebook. Is
That's
also-
going to be really exciting.
Yes.
And we're going to do a part 2, and you're going to have some of them here.
Yes.
And
We're
that's
going
going
to have
to
our producer, Rich Campbell from America, and my fellow Pinup Linus.
that's going to be really great. So
Thank you.
I just want to tell everybody, if you want to come on the Method Actor Speaks, just get in touch with me, John Solari, at 818-773-0991, or you can find me on Facebook or the Method Actor Speaks at Gmail. And listen, Lisa, I want to really thank you for coming on. I mean, this is
my pleasure.
what a great interview. I can't wait to people to see this because it
Thank
was a delight just to talk to you, and we'll be back later.
Thank you
So again, folks, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.